incorrect. Override denied. Your password is incorrect. Override denied. Program activated.
Hello and welcome to another Username Nerd podcast. My name is Mike Hewitt, and we have a change.
Oh no!
Chuck Ford.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? Hello.
I was just
Hello,
gonna
everybody.
wait and build up the suspense there.
Major
We'll let
suspense.
you know after these commercials. Yeah, Tim is going to take hiatus, and you are the new co-host.
Woo!
How are you?
I am wonderful.
Doing
Thank
good?
you. Yeah,
Doing
of
good?
course. Feeling good, living good,
Uh-huh.
being good,
Very, very good.
looking good.
So a couple things. We had our 100th episode, and this last week we went to Kantcon. Oh my gosh.
So much fun.
It was a blast.
I
And-
destroyed the Death Star single-handedly. I destroyed the Death Star.
So with Kantcon, we'll get to that because I'm very upset about that. But I was very excited, and there was so much going on that week. I had a party. I had parties both Friday and Sunday. No, I had a preschool party I had to go to Friday night, and then it was my son's birthday party Sunday. So next year I want to go and interview like Friday night and then all day Saturday.
Gosh,
just be there.
man, live
playing.
a little. What's
I
life?
know.
What is going on?
I want. We were there not enough, and
no, I agree. Actually,
golly, it was just.
and I kept asking people, "Hey, how long do these games usually take?" Oh, around 3 to 4 hours.
I know every single one in 3 or 4 hours.
Oh my gosh.
And that's quick
Yeah.
for some of those games.
Oh my goodness! I mean, even we
So you're
did
not-
take 4 hours on the, but we only made it like 4 or 5
Yes.
like turns in, and there was 10
we started
turns.
at 2,
We
and we left at when? About 6.
Like
It was
6.
6. So yeah,
6.
4 hours.
6
and a half hours. Yeah.
But like it was crazy because
That's also a game nobody knew how to play
True.
really.
But well, that's very true. Plus,
Well-
there was only 2 people, and then 2 people with
True. Very
the
true.
host. But anyways,
So you don't know a lot about. You know about the American board games is what I think,
Yeah,
like
the-
Life and
yeah.
Monopoly and stuff like that. But you haven't played a lot of the other board games.
no, growing up, I was never really introduced to fantastic board games. I was introduced to the boring
Well,
ones.
honestly,
the family friendly.
I know. I'm trying to think. Really, the only ones that I know, I've been playing them since like Catan was the first one. That was around 2008. Have you heard of Catan?
Huh?
No. Yeah.
Well, you
see?
got to also think of the age difference here. Yeah.
Catan age difference.
Well,
Well, you would have been. Well, you're 23.
Yep.
You would have been 15.
Yeah.
So that's not too.
Okay, I come from a very small school.
True. True. In the middle of nowhere. I remember that.
Yeah,
Yes,
so-
yeah.
All we had was internet and video games.
Well, and so, but the only the American game I can put closest to like what I call Euro games would probably be Risk. Risk is the kind of one that passes over.
The last time I played a board game besides playing with you guys
Mm-hmm.
recently would have to be back in junior high,
Mm-hmm.
which
Oh wow.
wow,
Yeah, yeah.
that was a while.
Yeah,
Wow
yeah.
ago. And that would have been like Star Wars Risk.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you want to count chess, which I don't count chess because there's
Yeah, I don't
not as
count
much.
chess
Right.
either.
I love chess. Don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
But that's not the extent of what we're talking about.
Right. And really it's really been the last 4 or 5 years that it's just been knockout games one after the next. So let's talk about
Definitely.
some of the before we get into some of the games, let's talk about some of the vendors that were there.
Yeah.
First of all, we did a video, and it is up on the website or YouTube, and in kind of talking about all that. No, it's not up on the website. What are you shaking your head? No.
Website. YouTube.
Yes, YouTube. You know what I'm saying. That website.
That
not up
thing.
there.
The weird thing.
The first one was, I guess, if we go from the left to the right, that there was that table thing. You can make a custom board game table.
The
which
guys
I thought
make
was
custom-
interesting. Because I've been kind of this I want to make to a better the table we're on now. I want to put in jacks and stuff like that.
That'd be cool.
Now we used to play D&D all the time, which would be really cool for like I don't know. We had a D&D table where it was sunk in, so like the dungeon master had the screen built in, and he could roll dice kind of like underneath, and cup holders and all kinds of stuff like that. So, it was a very interesting setup. So, but I don't know. I'd rather build my own, but I mean, not everybody. Yeah, but then the next one after that was Discount Salmon, and they are Water Bear Games. Is that correct? I'm just making sure. That's just yes. Water Bear Games.
They, I believe they took their game to some.
They took it to
a show.
Cards.
Cards Against Humanity, like a contest. It's a thing that Cards Against Humanity hosted.
Yes, and then
they picked the best game or whatever that was there, and they won.
And I think, there was 2 winners.
Yeah.
And they got their booth at Gen Con. I want to say it's Gen Con.
I want to say Gen Con too.
They got that for free. And then they got their whole game promoted. And it's a pretty cool game. We were playing it tonight. And it's enough that I could play it with the kids. And I took out the red cards.
That night, I wasn't planning this, but I went over to a friend's house.
Mm-hmm.
And
did you pull it out?
I did.
Yeah? What'd they think?
Because we were just sitting around playing like, hey, never have I ever, just random things.
Right.
And I was like, hey guys, I got a cool card game that you want to play. And they're like, sure. How many people? I'm like, 4, 5, 6, whatever. So we just busted it out, and we probably played it for like 4 hours straight.
Really?
Like they were getting into it. Like there were
cool.
friendships lost. Okay, this game is intense, guys.
Yes.
It's super fast paced.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have to be quick thinking for sure.
Yeah. The other game that's party game like that would be the Resistance. Have you ever played the Resistance?
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. It's like lying and just deceit and you just
sounds like fun.
Basically,
sounds like politics.
Anyways, yes, but a very good game. And with the kids, it was easy enough to take out the red cards. So it was just here's a fish. What does it take to fix that? Rather than because they weren't getting that. But
I was getting mad.
Yeah. No, they weren't be able to get the idea of the red cards making it worse.
The red cards can
making the fish worse.
Yeah.
Then we have Extra Life, and my wife did an interview with them, and we'll have that out soon. It's check it out at their site. Then the Geekery. Go ahead and tell us a little about
the Geekery. I was kind of just walking around and just kind of looking at what they had and what it was about. And it was this kid. I'd say he'd be around my age. It was his dream, or it is his dream, to own a tabletop gaming store, which he does. And I believe it's in Shawnee Mission. But I was talking to his dad about it, and he said that it started because his son had a big collection of Warhammer 40K.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that was the main turnout to the store because that's what everybody was playing at that time. But now as time has gone on,
there's not really
kind of gone down. And so he's kind of he's trying to branch out, but I think I can't remember how much he said, but he said he spent a lot
on 40K.
On 40K.
Oh yeah, I think I want to say I spent at least $500 to $1,000 easy.
I'm gonna spend that on my motorcycle.
Easy, and then I sold it all back because I had the Tyranids, which are like what's that movie? The Bug movie, Space Marine movie.
There's so many. Star Troopers.
Yes, I knew it as soon as I said. You know
Space
those bugs?
Marine bug movie.
Yes, in the bugs. It's just like.
Well,
those
I
bugs.
can almost name you. I can almost name a lot of movies that it deals with Space
True,
Marines
but
and
when
bugs.
I said it, true.
My mind would automatically to Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers. But then there's also,
Troopers.
same thing. Those, and then there was like the Zerg. I mean, there's a lot of races that are like that, and that's what I had, and it's just a horde. And so what you would do is each one you would just you would have a measuring stick, just like Star Wars. So they would all move, and like
that's cool.
And then you'd have terrain and stuff like that.
See, when we first saw that, and we walked up there and kind of checked it out, I was like dumbfounded. I was like, "There's so much going on here. I don't know." And then we started walking around the con, and my brain just started to hurt. Because
Really?
I wanted to start, like, trying to just kind of look over people and try to understand what was going on. Like
Yes.
those big, giant setups that, the alien setup that we
Yes.
saw. And then the other one, I don't know what it was, but it was just these massive table setups of just different figurines. It looks like there was their own mazes and platforms. And I'm just like, my brain's hurting already.
That's a lot. I bet I can't. I don't know if those are. There's a couple different things you can do. Those are you could do like they could be Warhammer 40Ks, or they could be you're a group of 5 people going through and fighting. I mean, it could just be a role playing game as well. But yeah, Geekery.
Geekery, yeah. So I think we talked to them too, or we're going to talk to them. His dad did throw out about us coming up there sometime and filming and checking it out.
Yeah.
Which I think would be really great to do.
Yeah,
It'd be really nice to help him out.
Yeah, totally. And then that brings us to Ponds and Pints.
Yes, which you guys talked to them more than I did. So.
Yes, I sat down and talked to them. I think you talked more to the Geekery, and I talked to them. They have a Kickstarter, and they are setting up kind of the same thing, but it's kind of like a board game cafe / bar.
Yes,
that's what I
my
feel
understanding.
like it.
When Geekery, I believe, is just a tabletop gaming store,
kind of like tabletop and stuff along those lines.
Game cafe and independence.
So I don't know if they're going for more of I wish I could drink beer. I can't carbonation. I can't drink carbonation. So
I will drink beer for you. I would totally gladly do that.
I can drink the hard stuff, but that's.
Oh, that makes sense.
Much funner, a gamer.
Well, and I think didn't they? I mean, I don't know if they said it, but I think somewhere in there they mentioned about us coming up there and filming.
Yes,
or
as well.
doing something and them offering us a bunch of beer. Was that a thing?
I think so.
I think that was the thing.
Sounds like a thing. We'll hold them to that.
Yeah, we'll definitely hold that to that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure somebody said that at one point.
But we're definitely going to both of those. I definitely want to. I think we're going to go to because Ponds and Pints won't be out right now. I think they're trying to open up in October, and that is they are 42% of their Kickstarter. So go to Kickstarter, Ponds and Pints, and definitely support them because they're starting that, and we are going out to them very, very soon.
They got some cool prizes on there too, guys. Go check it out for sure.
Yes, definitely. Then some of the what do you know? What are some of the other ones?
Well, I mean,
Battle of Solara.
What is that? What?
At the end, I was walking out. They were on the other side, and it's a card game that's not like Magic the Gathering. You just keep getting new cards and building up.
Was this in the extra room that they had to open up for the day?
No,
that we were
no, it was an exhibitor.
Okay, so this was an actual
across from the Geekery.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, and so I was talking to them, and it's a card game. But it's not like Magic because they're like, we don't want you to have to go out and continue, And
sorry,
you okay
I'm so
there?
sorry. I don't know.
Did you go down the wrong pipe?
No, I just phlegm.
Yes, no problem. Anyways,
I get to talking, and it's like.
So with them, the card game you can build your own, and then they have expansion packs to build your own. But you only have those cards, so everything kind of works out. I like that rather than I've been sucked in that Magic thing where you just keep, and then people will just accuse you of just going online and buying cards, which that's all I do.
I mean, it's the easy way.
Exactly.
I am curious also that game that your wife played,
Wayward.
Yes,
she bought it.
She did buy it.
Yes.
Well, did she? I guess she liked it. Obviously,
she liked it a lot. It's very colorful.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a card game, right? Like somewhat card game. Table 13.
That card game.
Yeah, that card game.
No.
Okay.
We didn't buy that card game. We wanted to. I think they're from Sedalia. I don't think they had.
I don't think it was
stock. They didn't have any stock.
He made it himself. I don't think he was selling it. He was just showing it off.
Oh, really?
I think that's what it was, yeah.
Because I asked him, and you could buy it online, but he didn't have any in stock right there. Now, the other one was a board that was very colorful.
Okay. That's why I was
that
like, color? What are you talking about?
The Wayward. That was Wayward. And that is a dungeon crawl. And if you saw it, she did it, and she really liked that game, too. Both of those games she really liked.
Yeah. I was definitely interested in that card game, though, because I went by and talked to him, but I never got the chance to check it out.
It was interesting, because I wish I could have played a little bit more.
It was like starting off from like Dungeon 1 and like moving up or
Dungeon
something.
to 5 and everything else. Then there was the computer game in the corner.
Yes. That was very
anything
interesting.
about that?
You know,
I
silently walked. Yeah, see, that was the thing.
Yeah.
Out of all the videos and interviews and stuff, we just didn't have the time to really do anything.
No.
And so immediately when I went in there was two choices. There was either Firefly or Star Wars. Of course, I picked Star Wars because it's Star Wars, and it was the trench run. Come on.
Ugh.
But so, anyways, so there was this game there that was kind of off in the corner. It was very interesting. I'd never seen anything like this before.
It
other
reminded
than
me
Star
of
Trek.
like Space Camp or something.
Yeah, I could see that. Like you have to work together.
Yeah.
But there was there was 5 stations. There was the helm, comm, engineering, weapons, and then there was one more, but I can't think of what
Some
it was.
of those sound really
Helm,
fun, and some of
comm,
them sound horrible.
Engineering just sounds like a total disaster.
I know. You just
Comms
sitting there
is like, what?
I know.
What am I doing?
I know, right?
What are we? But I mean, it's a cool concept. I think it's great.
Yeah.
And when I went over there was only weapon systems, like the
Yeah.
the only 2 people that were playing was the captain at the helm, and then weapon systems.
Right.
So the game was still working. It was working fine. But I think it's whenever you enable,
Yeah.
not like the auto system. But
So there's like an AI that plays it if you're not playing it. Yeah.
which I mean, to me, it was cool because it reminded me of the
Like a
Star Trek.
Yeah.
where they're like, oh, Sulu, do this,
Yeah.
or just
Mhm.
random
Yeah.
things going on. Captain, we're being whatever called. Yeah, I'm not a big Trekkie. Sorry, guys.
There was a really cool one. I played one in Florida the same way, where you had to have a team of 4, and one could hold the back, one was
Yeah.
an engineer. I mean, it was
That'd be cool.
yeah, it was pretty cool.
Shields.
But Wayward was really cool. It's a dungeon crawl. I did not get to play it. We did buy it. My wife, in fact, they didn't have any, but she followed. Well, she was like, his wife went out to his car and said, "I
Yeah.
think I have some." She followed them out, and they had one in the car, so she bought it.
Oh my goodness.
But it was really cool. Then last but not, I mean, they had all kind. I mean, there was a lot of role playing
That's cool.
games. I saw Terra Mystica being played there. You haven't played
Terra
Terra
Mystica. I've heard of it, but
Yes.
I've never played it before.
They've never. I saw that. I saw all kinds of games. The one thing I didn't see was Axis and Allies, and that's what I want to do next year. If they need
Okay.
volunteers, I'm going to host it. Now that game
Blow
probably
your
would be all
freaking
day
mind.
Saturday.
Yeah.
It's not a 4 or 5 hour game. That probably is a 12 to 14 hour game.
My brain would be fried for the next 2 days.
Awesome.
It's awesome. I'm not a. I
You got to
never
work
really-
your way up.
Yeah, like that's the thing is I've never.
We could play it in stages here.
Like the Star Wars one, it wasn't that bad because that was easy to understand. It was just a complex game, but it was easy to understand for your roles. Now, here's the thing, guys. I didn't start playing major board games until like what a month ago, 2 months
True.
ago.
Very true. True.
And Mike invited me over. Was like, "Hey, we're having game night. You want to come over?" I'm like, "Yeah, cool." Game night. My game nights consist of video games, right? That's what I'm thinking we're doing. I get here and there's like this big board set up or something. I'm like, "What are we doing?"
What did we
We're
play?
playing board games.
I think
We
it was-
played some bubble game.
Oh,
It was
504. 504?
Sure? I think that's what it was.
Yes, 504, which are 504 different universes.
Yeah, that was intense. My
That
brain
one was
was
crazy.
like, "What is going on?"
But then the other one was the
I've played
the bomb
like
one.
3 board games.
It was the bomb one.
the
The
Manhattan
nuclear-
Project.
The Manhattan Project.
Manhattan Project was the first one that I played.
504 and Manhattan Project.
And then the other
What
one,
else did we play?
it was some
Stone Age was.
Stone Age, I believe is what it was.
You had people going out to the world.
yeah,
There's the
I just
baby
kept
making
getting
factory.
gold.
That's
Or
right.
I kept getting cakes. I'm sorry, cakes, not gold.
Oh, that was the Manhattan Project.
Was it? I could have sworn people were calling cakes
Yellow cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can make uranium out of yellow cake.
Oh, that was Manhattan Project. Wrong.
But you played it, Stone
But
Age.
I did play Stone Age.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. That you guys kept stealing the troops. Kept stealing where you could get the
I
guys.
think what else we
But
have up there.
I just want to say that my brain would hurt after every single one of those games. I wasn't really into board games, and then being like, "Here, do this." I'm like, "What is
Oh.
going on?"
Awesome. So Star Wars. What did you think of Star Wars?
Star Wars. Oh my gosh. So of course,
So explain the game.
explain the game. Okay, so think Death Star Trench Run. Okay, so there's the
And
rebels.
And the board is actually set between 2 tables, so there's actually a trench between the 2 tables.
Yeah, the way that the
and
guy,
plexiglass on top, which is pretty cool.
which how he had it set up was. Did you notice that was 2
Yeah,
boards?
2
Two
boards.
different boards.
Mhm.
So that was longer than what
Mhm.
the actual game was supposed to be.
Oh yeah,
How nuts is that?
probably why you won.
No, not at all. No. So how the game's set up is there's obviously the rebels and the Empire. So as the rebels, you have 3 Y-wings and technically 6 X-wings,
Mhm.
and I believe the Empire had what?
We had 10 TIE fighters, and then you had Darth, and then his 2 people.
2 wingmen,
Yeah,
2
two
special
wingmans.
wingmen. So, and then of course the X-wings considered Luke, Biggs, Porkins, Wedge Antilles. That is the worst name for a character.
Oh my
And I mean,
gosh.
it's
It's so demeaning.
so bad,
It's
like-
so wrong. It's like, okay, we have a big guy. What do we call him?
Porkins. What?
Call the big guy Porkins.
Fat joke. Way to go, George.
Exactly.
Way to go, being
Exactly.
incriminating on fat people.
Go ahead. But
Okay, anyways, so then you had your squadron of like yellow. Was it Gold Squad? Yeah,
Gold
Gold Squad.
Squadron.
Gold Squadron, which consisted of the Y-wings, which they have names, but I'm not sure what they are right now.
There
There was one name.
One had
the
a
lead
name,
guy.
but I cannot remember him.
So the way that this game worked out is, since the rebels, it was kind of like a surprise attack. But anyways, each ship had a number depending on how important the ship was.
Mm-hmm.
If you were like Red Squadron, number
Which is
1,
Which is initiative.
right, or Gold Squadron number 1,
If you
Gold
played
Squadron
any
number
board
2.
games, you would know initiative. But sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
Continue on.
So with Luke, obviously he'd be in a higher rank.
Right.
I believe he was like
9?
9.
Yeah. And Darth Vader was 9.
Darth Vader was 9 and Han was 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
And
Han
then,
was the big one.
So, and then all the little guys, all my, just TIE fighters were 1s.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the way it did was it's kind of like a round robin. So the lowest to the highest get to move first, and then it comes back down.
Yeah, the highest to the lowest get to do
shoot
combat first.
So if you are the highest, like you move last, but you shoot first, which kind of is nice because you see where everyone else
Right.
moves, and
Right.
then you can shoot.
Which, I mean, in the Empire had an advantage because the low-end TIEs that were level 1s, if they would die, they would come back. Because, think about it, the Death Star had billions
Yeah.
of people on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, to me that would make sense. And as soon as the rebels were dead, they were dead. Like, there was nothing, you couldn't do anything. So you had 2 sets of die. You had...
And he did say it was an unfair fight. So when we were
Yes.
talking about point-wise, I think he said the Rebels had like 300 points, and then the Empire had like 150 points.
You talking about health points? What are you talking about?
So like Darth Vader would be like 30 points.
Yeah.
And his his wingmen were 25 points, where
Yeah.
the X-wings were the TIE fighters were like 2 points.
Yeah.
And so if you were to make if we settled at 200 points, then I could put 100 TIE
Right.
and then you could you see what I'm saying? So you
Right.
can
Well, they tactically, the X-wings had an advantage because they could evade a lot easier because of the focus.
right.
The focus helped out a lot. The specials on each X-wing helped out a lot. Luke had a special to where he could gain back shields. His evade chance was way higher than everybody else's. All the rebel ships had shields. Only I think it was only 3 ships on the Empire had shields. Darth Vader and then his 2 wingmen had shields. So I would say the rebels definitely had a fair advantage, even though they were way outnumbered. But as in destroying the Death Star,
They were They were way outnumbered.
yeah. But
my guys didn't have shields. They didn't have any
But it
special
also didn't
powers.
help that the guy that you were playing with didn't know that, because there was something that he didn't know that he forgot, that you couldn't catch up in the trench.
Oh,
That
yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
trench, the trench system is completely different than the top
Yes.
system, because in the top you have this little bitty dial, and you have to, like, before the turn starts, you turn your dial, and it's like a slight turn 1 or a hard right 1. But
Yes.
it went all the way up to 4. But TIE fighters went to 5 because they're really fast. So basically, your movement was depending on what you set for the game. So you could bump into other players all the time, and if you did, you were not able to use an action in that game. You couldn't do your focus, you couldn't do your target lock, stuff like that.
And looking at it, it's tough because that game is set up like the movie. So
almost exactly like the
it's
movie.
kind of like
crazy.
Axis and Allies is set up just like the war, and so you can and it's hard when it's skewed that way.
Yeah.
Because it's just tough to play that. Now I would love to play a game where there's X-wings versus TIE fighters out in the middle of nowhere, and there's not just a roll to decide because it was once you get in the
was
trench
just a
run,
roll.
you just roll.
You
and
just
you
rolled
win.
and you went. Yeah, I believe.
Which I was shocked that you guys just didn't go for it.
See, and that's thank you. Like that was my thing. Like I tried.
You don't go all the way to the beginning, just halfway.
The reason
the
why
odds alone would be on your side.
The reason why he wanted them to go to the beginning is because what the rebels have is this thing called stay on target.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get this stay on target for
You
every
get to roll
bump, well, no,
more,
no,
right?
Well, yeah, you get to have more bonus die.
Right.
For every stay on target that you were, for every space that you moved, you got a stay on target like little emblem thing, whatever and for however many you collected in the trench, that's how many extra die you got to roll for your attack roll at the end of the Death Star. So he wanted to get the
So unfair.
right, like he wanted to get the Y-wings in there because they're so tanked, they're so shielded.
Right.
But
We took them out.
you guys took them out, right?
I think we took out 2.
You guys took out 2. You took the main one out, and then you took out number 1. So, and they were all banking on number 2 Y-wing to destroy the Death Star. They were not thinking about my little Rogue One, or what was it, Red Squadron number 1. They were not thinking about him.
He was a no-name.
He was a no-name. His name was just Red Squadron number 1. That was it.
Just went in. I mean, he didn't do the whole trench run. He just went in
Like
probably halfway.
He was just. What I did was, and that was the thing. Before I got into the trench run, it was literally like nailing, like it was grit and teeth, like whatever you want to call it, because he had 1 health left the entire time.
Yep.
By the time I got on top of the trench and was able to get down into the trench, I had 1 hit point left. I had one hit. If somebody got me, I was dead. So while I'm down in the trench, there's also turrets down there. So if the turret rolled and it was able to hit me, I would have been done. That would not have happened. But chance, it happened, and I believe it was the dude that Luke dissed in the beginning, or not in the beginning, in the scene where they're like, "Oh, it's impossible," and Luke's like, "It's not impossible. I used to bullseye womp-rats in my T-16 back home." It was
funny
that guy.
You've put him. You've already named that guy. And
It
put
was
him
that
in there.
guy. It was that guy that was like, you know what? You Luke, I don't know who you are, but I'm an actual pilot. I'm going to get in there, and I'm going to destroy this thing. And he did. My player got in there with 1 health left, and he just rocked the Death Star.
I feel like you guys were you guys frustrated?
Oh, my goodness, man. Yeah, mainly because you guys kept, like, hitting us and hitting us and hitting us. So anytime we would, like I said, anytime we would kill a TIE fighter, it would come back to life. So it was almost impossible trying to target the big ones.
Yeah, once we were out, it took us 2 turns to get back in.
Yeah.
Darth Vader wasn't even on the board at the beginning.
And by the time that we were set up to get into the trench, you guys were already on us and targeting us. We weren't on you. Like
True.
We weren't facing you guys because you have like on the little person or the little piece. There's like a fan. A window of opportunity of your targeting range of what your fighter can actually hit. And by the time we would be set up and ready on the trench, the TIEs would just come in and just obliterate us all.
Yeah.
Like, so it was a little frustrating, but then as soon as Han came onto the game in level 6, I believe, it kind of shifted our mentality, even though he didn't barely do anything. We barely utilized him.
Yeah.
We took out...
I don't think you used anything with him.
No, we took out 1 TIE. I think we
Yeah.
took out, like, we basically got him up there to just kind of guard the trench.
Yeah.
But by the time that my X-Wing was down in there, I was like 1 move away from destroying the Death Star.
That's what I think. It's a very overwhelming feeling. There was TIE fighters everywhere.
Oh, yeah. It was just such chaos.
And I was like, at one point, I was like, we have 10 to, I think we had 13.
Yeah.
And I told him, I'm just like, take every one and
Yeah.
shoot at Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Because we're going to lose But if we lose and take out Luke Skywalker, that's a win for me.
And see, Luke didn't go down, baby.
No.
He didn't go
He
down.
was one away.
He was one away.
And
of course,
it would have been gone. He would have been gone real
I
quick.
will say I was a little frustrated because there was something that I wanted to do with Luke, but somebody had ill-advised of it. Not Mike. I'm not blaming Mike.
No, go for it.
Just somebody else that we were playing with told me, don't do this. It'd be a waste of time. But I feel
What
like
was
instead of, because he told me to go ahead and loop around, like not loop around, he told me to go ahead and bring Luke in towards the trench, the way that it was facing. But I knew that you guys were expecting that, and that's what you wanted to happen. So what I wanted to do was loop Luke this way and bring him on the backside because all your forces were on the other side. Just like my
Kind
little
of
Rogue One.
Or
My
so we'll follow.
Red One. Huh?
So
Kinda
kind of cute, so we can follow.
Not so much so you would follow, but like I feel like I was putting Luke too far into the action.
Yeah.
Like I was wanting to have that, just like the movie, have Luke take out. So I feel like just kind of putting him in there in the midst of like these 10 TIE fighters, where 10 of these TIE fighters could have a chance to destroy Luke. And Luke had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits he could take.
Mm-hmm. And he had. Yeah, and he almost took all of them.
And he almost took all of them.
I thought it was 8 because I thought it was
No, I don't
3
think he was.
shields and 5 holes or something.
I thought
like
it was
that.
3 and 3.
No, it was more than that.
Then maybe it was.
But still, I mean, he could take a lot.
He took a lot of damage, and his evade was super ridiculous. Like you could turn the focus die into an evade token.
Yeah.
That was one of his special abilities.
So I would love to. Now, what I've been looking, and I've seen all kinds of their stuff. I've seen the big ships. Have you seen the big ships? Like there are.
Yeah, you have the
There's
Slave One.
Yeah, there's
Slave One was one.
Star Destroyers and
Star Destroyers.
And I know I've seen the freighter in the New Hope.
The freighter, the Corellian
Yes.
Corellian freighter that Princess Leia is flying in.
All kinds of ones
Yeah,
like
like
that,
the-
and you
the,
can get them. And
What is the shuttle?
and I think that would be more of a
The Imperial shuttle, I believe that's what it's called, right? It's with the little three little wing things.
Imperial shuttle.
That was one of them.
I would love to put them just 1-to-1, like if we
Just those
decide
giant
200
ships?
points
Oh,
or
man.
300 points, and then it's more equal. And if I lose a guy, I'm out. If you lose a guy,
Right,
it's
I
out.
feel like
It's
that
more
would've
of a
been-
more fight,
Right. Well,
less of a campaign that was already there.
but then you'd have to make it the shields equal. You'd have to do the hulls equal.
Well, the points will take care of it.
find the answer to the question I heard.
Wow, that was Alexa. That scared the living
Gosh darn it,
crap out
Alexa!
of me. Hold on.
Nobody even said Alexa.
Sometimes he picks up different. I don't know.
Anyways,
I'd love to go back
I was
and
like,
see
what the-
what did I know. It scared the. Yeah. So then the points should cover it.
yeah, that makes sense. Like
so
each
if you,
ship has a
I mean,
point,
you could have
health points.
I bet it's like a Star Destroyer could be 300 points.
Yeah, I can
and
see that.
then you could if
roll for this many point damage.
yeah. So if you have 300, you have one Star Destroyer against what I don't know 100 small X-wings. I mean, I don't know. It'd
no,
be
I
very
think,
interesting.
I think it should be a Star Destroyer against a rebellion. Wow, a rebellion home frigate.
Yeah, could be.
Like what in what's his name?
I
Episode 6.
It's a trap.
Yeah, him.
Mon
Akbar.
Cala-
Akbar. Admiral Akbar. One of those ships. I wish
Mon
they would have.
calamari. I just
Well, then they could have the medical frigate as well.
Yes, I saw that there. They had that for sale.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
Might go look on eBay.
Just to have like just a space battle, not
Yes.
necessarily Death Star battle.
yeah,
but
no,
a
that's what I'm
space
saying.
battle.
Space battle.
All out
that
space.
is not in
Battleship.
not in history because I feel like that was made. What battleship?
Yeah, like a battleship-esque, but not like
Yeah.
B2.
Exactly. Oh, but I feel like that was made for it to be like the movie.
Yeah, that was solely from
And
the
that's
movie.
what I've heard is that very rarely do the Empire win.
Right, and that's I'm sure that they're gonna make one for Walker Assault. Honestly, they could do one for Hoth.
Assault.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
If
they
you
could
have
do that.
if you have the rebellion defending Hoth against the Imperials,
Now, see, I have a
then
bunch of
just-
tanks for Axis and Allies, and we used to have a pool table, and what you would have is you would pick a country, and then, and basically we would buy them kind of like baseball cards.
Yeah.
And so I would get a bunch of things, and then I would trade my Germany to somebody else, and
Yeah.
they would give me their American.
Oh, that makes sense.
And it's all point based. So you have these gigantic tanks are little people.
Yeah.
And then you would move across and everything else, and it's,
we should make a Hoth board game.
But you could definitely do that for that. I think they have that.
Do they? Are you sure?
You just gotta find it cheap on eBay. But
Or we can make one.
we could. We can't cast.
Why not?
Because that takes a lot of time and carving and.
I can make it into. Wait, there's already a video game. Never mind. Never mind. There's already a video game. Okay, never mind. That's a great concept. Somebody make that. If you make that, please bring it to us.
So definitely, maybe we should try that. We got to get a couple of these under our belt, so then we can take a week and play. We're at 36.
We are at 36.
So
we need to talk about Comic-Con trailers.
We'll do that next week.
Next week?
Sound good?
Yeah, okay.
That's
because we're at 36.
Yeah.
Anybody barely listens to 36.
So not true. I just try to keep it there.
Kidding. We love you.
Anything else at Kantcon? Really cool.
It was a lot of fun. It was definitely bigger than I expected. It was not as much. It was bigger.
I think that was exactly because I'd seen some pictures in the past. That's kind of exactly what I thought, but I didn't even see the other room.
I've never seen. Well, it was like 5-6 games.
Yeah, I think it was more kid friendly games.
I was literally expecting a small conference room with tables just around the edge of the
like
room.
half that.
Oh yeah,
of the big space, really,
of half that. Because I'd never, I never knew how big things were. I didn't know what to expect. So when we did walk in, and I was like, "Whoa, there's a lot of tables here."
I think I'm not going to say anything, but I would say there's probably over 1,000 people there.
Yeah,
of course, I have no numbers. That's just
of course,
me
that
going.
That was just Saturday.
Yeah, that's just Saturday too. But definitely coming and going, I would say that.
It was a blast. It was.
Man, I'd love to play. I'd love to take a bunch of time and play smaller games throughout the day.
Definitely,
just
instead
go
of
back and forth.
Because if you want to play all those games, or if not all those games, but like if you want to play a bunch of those games, you need to go like all 3 days
and
get your money's worth. Like the way that they had the buy-in, that was cool. I enjoyed that. The money goes towards Kantcon. For next year.
And I think they did that because it was such a popular game.
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
So
the buy-in was well worth it. It was only $10.
Woo. Yeah. It was interesting. Yeah. It was interesting because I was talking to him afterwards, and we were out there by there was another one, Geek Cafe, and they were selling them.
Game Cafe.
Is it Game? Yeah, I'm
Game
sorry.
Cafe
Game
in Independence.
Cafe. And I was talking to them, and they had a bunch of they were kind of talking all about that Star Wars game and how that campaign was a little bit different than other campaigns.
They had
a
bunch of. Did you see all those? I was gonna buy the Age of the Rebellion one. I wanted to buy that. It was like $30.
Yeah,
because I'd love to get into board games, and what else better to really start my love for board games than my love for Star Wars.
Star Wars. I mean, I've never played the Star Wars one. I've always played 40K, or I've done 40K is pretty cool, and it's a little different because in 40K, a person you have there can go in any direction. He can turn around. Where this one, you have templates of how your ship can go, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, anyways, definitely Kantcon next year. Go to it. Watch our video on that YouTube channel, that username Nerd News. And like it, you say some comments. Also, you can get to us on Twitter at username Nerd, and our Facebook page, and a billion other places. You can call us 913-717-NERD. I'm trying to think what else.
Leave comments on our videos, please.
Yes.
We want to hear from you guys.
We have some people, but leave more. So, and also like and subscribe. I love seeing that subscribe go up.
By the way, if you love comics, we just put up 2 videos like a week ago, less than a week ago, of Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars.
Which I really like.
Me too. I can't wait for the next ones to come out, so I'm like gritting my teeth that we need to get over here and record
the ones I did, I'm like, I already know how it is, but it's nice watching yours because I haven't seen it, and it's like, this is nice. I like
and if you have the comic, just follow along.
Yes,
It's super easy if you can't, if you can't read. No, not if you can't read. Just if you don't have the time to read, just plug it in.
Yeah,
listen, and it's simple. It's an easy way.
The goal is, you could go through. My goal is to have the whole Secret Wars, I think 12 issues. You could go through it in like an hour.
Yeah, easy.
Because they're about 5 minutes easy. Where it would take you, a lot longer to get through them. I'm going through the X-Men series now. I've got it recorded. I've got to do from the very beginning so that you can just, because some of those early X-Men ones, there's important key moments that you want to know about.
Yeah.
But man, it's harsh. Some of those. early
Brutal.
X-Men are just brutal. So it's the idea is you can fly through them and get the key points to get up to the issues you want without, anyways.
Yeah, go check out the other videos, guys. There's
Awesome,
a
yes.
lot more content to come. KCCC is coming up. We're
Yes.
ready for that.
Yes, that's in
So
a couple
stupid
weeks.
excited.
A lot of people we have on the show, but a lot of people are telling me we can't do it till after con season. I think Kansas City Comic-Con, we're waiting like 2 or 3 guests that are waiting for after that because they're just so busy.
I mean, it's understandable.
Yeah, I know.
Busy season.
I feel like it's just swamped with stuff to do. So, and then the fall's coming up. There's a zombie run we're covering.
Oh, yeah.
On the plaza in Kansas City and all kinds of stuff. So that's it.
All right.
Stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy, guys. Hashtag stay nerdy.
Hashtag stay nerdy. Okay, stop. Don't go to the next YouTube video or channel or skip or don't do anything. Real quick, 5 seconds. We have 3 different channels. Please subscribe to them. Username Nerd News, username Nerd Comics, username Nerd Games. We have separated them out into 3 ones. Choose all of them or just one to subscribe to. You'd love it. I promise you, we'll give you great content. It'll show up in your feed. You'll love it. Just real quick click. It doesn't take but a few seconds. You'd be awesome. Thank you.